Why, laddie, you strap on your kilt and listen to Three Wise Radio.
No, we're not talking about him, are we?
No, we're talking
But
about
you said
Sam.
True Blood, and Skarsgård is
I said
True Blood.
Skarsgård.
But he was talking about From Never Back Down, which is the guy in True Blood.
I object.
I don't know why anybody's talking about Skarsgård.
Because when you say Skarsgård and True Blood, those are two very different
I
things.
never
because
said
Eric.
Skarsgård.
But someone did.
I
and
did.
It was Garrett.
So why is that on me?
Because you're part of the conversation.
I'm part of this conversation.
I also don't remember him in True Blood.
The brother?
What brother?
He was what's her name? Anna Paquin's brother.
Anna Paquin didn't have a brother in that show. Or she did. It was like really young and like dude disappeared. No, that's not Ryan. That's not the guy from True Blood.
Isn't it?
No.
Are you sure?
Positive?
Oh, you're right then. Well, we're all messed up. Do they look very similar?
Not even close.
Joe, quit being an asshole.
I've got levels, by the way, now.
Ken Hotate.
Those fucking wama pegs. Isn't that what they are?
Wamapoke.
Wama pokes? Whatever. Is that different? Those are different guys? Yeah, they are different guys.
Way different.
They look similar. They're not way different. False.
True.
False.
True.
All right, well, I'm not starting
blood.
the podcast, so we'll get this figured out.
Picking up what I'm putting down.
I think we're talking about Westerns today.
Are we?
Oh, yeah.
Not me, not right now. Yeah.
More of this on the show today. Welcome to Three Wise Radio, a podcast where we talk about movies, comic books, TV, technology, the internet, and pretty much everything else media related. My name is Joe Greller. I am one of the Three Wise Guys. Joining me, as usual, are the other two Wise Guys, Garrett Welker and Sam Pixley.
Go to hell, Joe.
Good afternoon, Joe.
Yeah, do.
Did you mean it?
Yeah. I just said 3 words. 4 words if you include your name. I'm sticking by it. How you doing, Joe? No one cares. It's fine. Let's move on. He's doing well. He's smiling.
Joining us today to review Magnificent Seven and
Jack
talk
Watson.
about Westerns.
How's it going? Cattle rancher, bourbon drinker, pot smoker,
Hot smoker?
cum guzzler.
Is our senior Western correspondent and impersonator, apparently, Nick Budd. Nick, what makes you our senior Western correspondent? Although you may have just answered that question.
I've chewed tobacco once, and I do drink whiskey on the regular, so I think that makes me a
Modern day cowboy.
exactly.
shoots from the
yeah.
hip.
If nothing else, at least a Southerner.
I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Which is close enough and qualifies. All right, let's start with some headlines. Starting with, first and foremost, Alpha 5 has been cast in the new Power Rangers movie, or at least the voice has at this point. One would assume that they've already filmed the actual movements at this point. And it's going to be Bill Hader.
Woo!
This is a great. I hope that you can see Bill Hader's head a little bit.
What?
I don't know.
He's got the spaceship head. You can't see anything.
I'm
in
hoping
Alpha
that
5.
he still does it. I'm hoping that he's in the suit.
Oh.
And Alpha isn't a short little guy, but actually just a very tall Bill Hader. You got Bryan Cranston is Zordon in a big tube, and you've got Hader walking around just a normal sized Alpha guy. You know how intimidating Alpha would be if you were actually a normally sized person?
Very, actually. That's terrifying just to think about right now.
He'd look more like a B-movie 50s villain than
Yeah. What did Alpha look like to you in the show?
a kid's toy.
Yeah. But we need it to be grittier.
True grittier.
True grittier.
Western.
Starring
Jeff Bridges.
sometimes.
Nick Budd.
Hopefully in the future. Nick Blood.
Second reboot.
Playing Jeff Bridges. Playing
John Wayne.
John Wayne.
We're not even too hard.
Clearly we know nothing about Westerns.
You know something. I'm getting there.
Isn't that girl in True Grit? Isn't she a movie or isn't she a singer now?
Haley Steinfeld, yes.
Sure. Yeah, cool. Hope that works out for her.
She has a couple of hits.
Does she really?
She has one with Zed right now that's on the charts
Nice.
called Starving.
So is it like isn't Zed a
DJ?
like an EDM
Yes.
kind of DJ guy? So is
Yeah.
it the usual thing where like she'll get all the credit even though he does all the work?
Used to be that way, but it's changed in the past few years.
Has it?
Yeah.
Sexist.
I can even tell you that by working for top 40 stations, it's changed. It used to be whoever was the singer would get it, and Calvin Harris and Avicii have kind of changed all that. Now instead they tell you who's the
Avicii
actual
featuring whoever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's pretty good.
Cool. Change it a little. All right. Also in headlines, because I'm assuming we were done with that. I don't know at this point.
It's good.
Pass.
Is there anyone
Motion to
else you
move.
would cast though?
The thinking of Bill Hader
Yes,
saying
and I told you for different
did.
reasons. There's one
I
other
would
person.
cast Bill Hader in anything.
I would.
True.
There's one other person I would cast as Alpha, only because you have Bryan Cranston as Zordon, and that's Aaron Paul. So Zordon could yell "bitch" at Alpha.
That sounds pretty good.
As he runs around.
I like the idea of Bill Hader saying "ay." You know, Alpha's thing is "ay."
Yeah.
I like the idea of just having Bill Hader say that, but without any voice alterations.
Probably you might get that.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right.
In comic book news, the Dark Knight 3 Master Race is now extended to 9 issues. Apparently, they can't wrap up the story in 6, so they're adding on 3 more.
they've delayed it so much that they need to come out with more of it.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
I don't. It means that never buy a Frank Miller or Jim Lee comic.
Until it comes out in a full copy.
Yeah, in trade paperback form.
I'm still getting it.
Have you been buying the individual issues?
Yeah.
What number have they actually gotten through?
I think I haven't picked up in a while, but I think they're on like 4
Yeah.
or maybe 5. Maybe I have the 4th one. I need to pick the 5th one up.
And have you read any of it?
No.
Are you going to until it's done?
Well, now probably not. It's gonna take a little while.
He's honest.
Good enough. All right, in other news, Matt LeBlanc has signed on to host 2 more series of Top Gear, and he is now going to be pushed into the main face of Top Gear now that I think it was not the Chris Evans you think of, but Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, British car enthusiast.
Yes, left after just 6 episodes last year.
Oh wow.
So he is going to kind of be pushed into it. In other news, Amazon's The Grand Tour, which is basically Top Gear,
Yeah.
It's Top Gear.
which is Top Gear,
But
starring
it can't do a lot of the Top Gear things.
Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May, is going to begin airing weekly on Amazon starting November 18th.
I'm excited. I've already got a watch party planned.
Am I invited?
Nope. Depends on how good, how much
Perfect.
you know about Westerns.
Well, I have held a fistful of dollars before.
Okay.
So,
Damn.
So
Did you,
far,
did
he's
you
doing
acquire
good.
a few dollars more? Okay. Perfect. Look at all these references. Clearly, we know everything. Oh, no, I think it's going to be... Well, that's the thing that's what's so interesting about this is because still no one knows what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But it looks like they released
Right.
like a little baby teaser, and then they've shown a few clips. What it looks like it's going to be, which I'm very excited about, is their best element, which is why I think Top Gear's failing now, is that the charisma of those 3 and their energy together is so good. Yeah. So what it looks like, instead of doing like the different, we get a Bugatti in this one, and we're going to drive it around the track and see who wins what, they're just doing the fun things where they send them on trips and then just record it. So it's just going to be them traveling the world and like going to cafes and and sleeping in terrible mattresses, and
Which is part of the fun anyway.
which is what you want.
Yeah.
So hopefully they're able to sustain that. I'm excited, but it could be terrible. Who knows?
It's a possibility. Something that will not be terrible, at least as far as I'm concerned. FXX has announced that they are once again doing a marathon of every Simpsons episode ever. 600 episodes over 13 days starting Thanksgiving. 600 to be exact.
Are you gonna ask off work and watch all of them?
No.
Okay, good.
2 weeks?
24th through the 6th. How long is that? It's a little over a week, isn't it?
24th to the 6th? Yeah, it's almost 2 weeks.
That's 2 weeks. That's like actually
weeks.
exactly 2 weeks.
Just about. Yeah, it's 13 days. I don't have 13 days.
Of what?
The Simpsons.
It's just
Oh, yeah.
marathon.
It's just like when Christmas Story is on for 24 hours on Christmas. You just leave it on. You just have it on the TV.
Yeah.
But it's better because it's not the same thing every 2 hours.
It's better than Christmas
I
Story.
think after day 10, it's all going to be the exact same
It's
thing.
not, because truthfully, I can tell you right now, The Simpsons in season 20 is not the same as it is now, and is not the same as it was in 5.
Sure, but I think if you've watched 200 hours of it,
Yes.
at some point, it's all just going to become yellow faces.
It will be, but it's not like...
Sounds a little bit racist.
Could be.
I don't know what race the Simpsons are.
They don't.
They are yellow.
Yep.
I don't know. No.
Sam, what news do you have over there?
Oh, I don't know. About what? Oh, The rumor is that Mark Millar has his eye on John Cena for a big screen adaptation of Superior, which, if anybody doesn't know, it's about a 12-year-old kid with multiple sclerosis that gets a wish from an alien monkey, and he decides to be his favorite superhero, and thus he turns into this superhero.
So what would
So
John Cena play? Would he play the
He
evil
would play
wicked monkey?
No, he would play Superior.
He would play the super.
He would play the kid.
The kid.
/ man.
So he'd play
Kid
a 12-year-old boy?
Yes, but in the giant man body that would fit John Cena very well. So it's essentially a child in a superhero's body. If
Might be the
anybody
perfect role.
seems anything familiar about that.
Might be the perfect role.
Oh no, it is Shazam.
It's Shazam. It's
that
just
is- It's a
Shazam.
darker, grittier Shazam. Isn't that what
Oh,
Superior
it's
was?
brutal.
Yeah.
Superior is actually really. I've thumbed through a couple issues. I want to pick it up, but it's brutal.
Shazam was in with like Shaq? Is that movie?
No, that's Kazam.
No, that's Kazam.
Okay,
Also,
that was
a great
awful.
movie. Hey, awful.
No, Shaq is one of my favorite actors. I think
He's so capable.
Basically, him, Daniel Day-Lewis are like my top picks.
I would
in
help
hand.
you in that
Nicolas
argument.
Cage, also top 3. But
I would totally
Clearly.
help you in that argument.
thank you, Joe.
100%.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And in some circles, I would win the Nicolas Cage being better argument. So
I mean, greatest actor to ever live. Put that on record.
Better than Shaq? I mean, just your words.
Yeah.
Miles above.
No one's miles above
You know,
Shaq.
it's almost like a tie for first in the top 3.
If you tie for first, do you both get gold or do you both get silver?
I don't know actually.
there is no
Oh,
tie in the Olympic type deals.
Yes, there is. Yeah, there is. In the Olympics, 3 guys tied for gold this year, I think.
I feel like they weren't looking close enough. In today's technology, with everything, you're telling me
Yeah,
we couldn't. You're telling me fractions and
They tied
hundreds
to
and tenths
hundredths
of a second.
yes. And in swimming, they used, or it was either tied for silver or tied for gold. I'm trying to remember. I think it was tied for silver. It was silver.
Then answer the
It's
question.
a touchpad.
You can also tie for like the point systems when you give like a 7 or an 8 or a 10, whatever. You can tie in those points. I believe so.
I feel like the judges would step in at that point and be like, "There are no ties."
No judge is faster. No judge can stop things to a hundredths of a second.
No, but
No,
with
he's
the
talking
points.
about like with the gymnastics.
Oh,
or something, where they
points?
Score the point system.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Uh,
What grading scale do you use for best actor of all time? Do you use a stopwatch or a voting?
I use a stopwatch.
Anyway,
Informative.
in movie news, the new Friday the 13th and Ring sequels have been delayed. Previously slated for January 13th of next year. That wasn't coming out because no one had filmed anything yet. It's now slated for an October release of next year.
Which movie?
The Friday the 13th reboot and Ring sequel.
Wait, Rings already had a trailer.
Yeah, I thought didn't the Ring already have a
There's no way it's not coming out till next year. It already had a trailer.
Has been moved from October 28th to February 3rd, 2017.
Oh, okay, so it's not that big of a push. Okay, it was the other one that got pushed. No, this is like a reboot called Rings, where now instead of
Takes place
a
13
VHS,
years.
it's like they have
After
it
the
on an
original.
email.
So does Hollywood just like run out of new ideas, so they just have to reboot?
I think they've been
everything?
out of ideas for 10 years.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, we just watched Magnificent Seven. So.
We did, which is a reboot of a reboot, technically.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause technically, the first one was The Seven Samurais, which is Quentin Tarantino's favorite movie.
Of course, why wouldn't it be?
Great movie.
It really is though.
Quentin Tarantino.
More on that later.
He's a cool guy.
True.
He's
But on the subject,
Some final news. Speaking of Chris Pratt, the Passengers trailer came out. We saw it before the show. It looks interesting.
a lot of CG.
we did not see Chris Pratt without a shirt on, though, so I am disappointed.
Yes, which normally if you're in space, you should see Chris Pratt without a shirt on, according
True.
I
to.
feel like it should be in his contract.
Wasn't in this movie
As a
either.
straight man,
I know he's a very handsome
he's a
man.
very beautiful, sexy individual.
True. My big question is this is, okay, so they finally did what I'm sure they've been trying to do for 3 years. We've got to get Chris Pratt. He's the biggest name. We've got to get Jennifer Lawrence. She's the biggest name.
Sex
For
scene,
some, probably, you can assume
Let's
that
do
they
it.
want it. But I feel like,
alone in the
it's-
ship,
yes,
they're gonna have a sex scene.
sure. Well, no, Martin Sheen is there.
As a robot, half
robot.
man.
Half man, half robot. But my point is,
All Martin Sheen.
is that a good enough selling point anymore? Because we've talked about this before. We're kind of past the point where a single person sells a movie. Like, I didn't see Magnificent Seven because it had Denzel in it, and for the longest time, Denzel was a person that could push a movie. Like, honestly, I want to see it less because those two are in it because it feels really forced.
Yeah, I would.
Am
agree
I
with
off
that.
on that?
No,
No, I mean I would agree with that. Because we talked about it whenever Steve Jobs came out with Fassbender, and how that movie just kind of tanked, and it's like
I love that movie.
But I mean, it didn't do well, and it's because we're getting past that point. Like Sam said, like we don't have actors that can carry movies by themselves anymore.
That's true.
Either that or the movies aren't written to do that anymore.
I feel like females though are like starting to carry movies now.
Somewhat. Like Jennifer Lawrence was doing it for a bit, but then unfortunately, your lifespan as a female actress is shorter currently as the hot thing. Like I think Chris Pratt's going to be the hot thing for another 5 years.
I mean, yeah, guys have done that too, though. We've gone through different people.
Sure. But I just think that the lifespan's a little shorter for a female than it is for a male. Like, I feel like Jennifer Lawrence is already on her way out because Brie Larson is on her way in, which is not a good thing. But I think that it's just kind of a reality currently.
Yeah.
So actually, I would argue against your argument then, is that I think that someone still could carry a movie, but it's a shorter period of time.
Yeah. I just think that it feels
or at
forced.
Least the big brass still thinks that, or else we wouldn't be getting these.
I just think it feels forced when you have the two of them together. Like when I watch them on screen together, I feel like there's too many people sitting in offices that are like, we got to get these two together. Let's find a schedule. Who cares what the film is? Let's just do it. That's the vibe that I was kind of feeling. And I think Chris Pratt can carry a movie by himself. Jennifer Lawrence clearly does, but
Has
yeah.
There was that Mop movie.
Some
Joy?
kind of bird movie, I think.
There was a bird movie.
There's a bird movie, Mockingjay or something like that.
Oh, that yes.
I don't think anybody saw that.
They didn't see the fourth and fifth.
Fourth.
Yeah, that slipped a
Two
little
parts.
bit.
There's
there's two.
books.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was 5
Three
books.
books.
I don't
It
know.
was like Harry Potter. They split the last one into 2 movies.
That's my point. Is that this is the first thing? It's not my point, but seems like the first movie that Chris Pratt just kind of signed up for. Whereas everything else seems like, oh, this seems like something Chris Pratt would like to do, or is just kind of an interesting role for him. Whereas this one just kind of seems like a bunch. What is it from South Park? Like a walrus.
The manatee.
Oh, the
Yeah,
manatees
a manatee
picking
just put this movie together.
Family Guy. Right.
Is that too harsh?
No, I mean I feel like
a little. I thought it looked good.
think about like
Honestly,
Meryl,
I thought it
Meryl
looked
Streep.
good. I thought it looked like a live action
Meryl Streep
Wall-E.
can carry a movie.
yeah.
You know?
I don't know if she can.
Wall-E.
And she's
Like,
she's past that little.
She can carry a movie for critics.
And it had
but
a
she
live
can't
action
carry a
Wall-E
movie
at the
for box
beginning,
office
kinda.
success.
Okay, I'll agree with that. Maybe she just puts out stuff I like. I guess so. I go see it.
What was the last Meryl Streep thing you saw that you liked?
Into the Woods. That's just phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
She did
Meryl
really good.
Streep
That was
did
actually,
steady work.
I was one of the few.
I know she gets steady work, but can she carry a movie
Yes.
to financial success?
Not just critical success.
If the budget is low enough, yes.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're factoring that stuff in, then sure. But like Into the Woods.
2 ensemble of a cast.
High budget, but well done.
Yeah, it's just 2 ensembles of a cast.
Anna Kendrick's in that.
She is, and Chris Pine.
Chris Pine is in that.
He does really fun. He was really funny in that.
You know what Chris Pine
Johnny
isn't
Depp's
is?
in that.
Magnificent Seven.
Yep.
3 wise. 3 wise.
Radio.
But Magnificent 7 came out in theaters this week. Number 1 at the box office for
Really?
the past weekend. Yes,
The main
it was.
competition was Storks. Ooh.
Hey, that's some. Nah, I can't.
Informative.
I was
I think,
trying-
I think you get 3 really good animated movies a year tops, and I think they've already tapped that keg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's off to a
Sausage
good
Party
start
and-
for a...
Finding Nemo, Dory.
It grossed $41
Well, I like
million
Finding
over the
Dory.
weekend, and for a $100 million movie, it's a good start.
How much did it make?
Yeah.
What are those numbers?
41 in the United States. So
Oh, sure.
Not bad.
I wonder how. I think that's interesting, or at least something to think about, because westerns are such an Americanized thing. I wonder how well they do overseas.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do okay.
I think they do well because it's not bad America, if that makes any sense.
it's-
Like, it's not like in your face, like we're the greatest or whatever. It's people
like the
going
cool
out,
America
working
overseas.
hard. It's still one of the few genres out there that still encompasses the American dream, and you can kind of say like, well, that's what it used to be before they were assholes. So I think that might get some other, like your Italian and Spanish markets who think America's just kind of crap now, back on board.
True.
Okay.
Talking to a few coworkers of mine who are from the European region. They usually you tend to think that Americans are usually the fat, lazy Trump supporters, or they are driving fast car action stars. Also, with that is like American westerns. Like we think we're like all like either
Cowboys.
Southern, like cowboys, just like real gritty.
That does
men.
always tend to be like the Russian insult name for
Cowboy.
The American-
Cowboy.
Hey, cowboy.
Hey, cowboy.
Apparently that is a thing, and to group together is wrong. But apparently a
Russians
lot of people, if you do travel overseas, especially to like the Far East, a lot of it will be like, "Oh, America, are you from Texas? Are you a gunslinger?"
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually,
Yes.
who are you?
Very
Let's give off this.
gritty, handsome
Well,
cowboy.
according to the laws in the state of Missouri, I don't need a license to carry a pistol anymore. I can carry a gun wherever I like, whenever I would like to do that. And yeah, that does make me a gunslinger cowboy,
Okay.
even though I'm in Illinois, where that law doesn't exist.
But as we were saying, Magnificent Seven is a remake of the 1960 Western by the same name, which in turn was a remake of the 1954 Japanese film Seven Samurai.
So good.
Starring Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, Vincent D'Onofrio, with quite possibly the best
Shining
accent
like the sun.
and worst accent at the same time of all
Hilarious.
time. Lee Byung Hun? Did I say that close?
You nailed it.
Didn't butcher it at all.
The assassin.
Lee Byung-hun.
Yeah.
She's the
I
assassin.
think.
Yeah, who's been in like some G.I. Joe movies and in other things before. I really like him and stuff. I think he needs to be in more things, in all honesty.
Agreed.
Haley Bennett, Peter Sarsgaard, not Skarsgård, which are two different families now that
Oh.
Do you think they
My
feud?
mistake.
I'm close there. What?
Probably.
Do they hate each other?
It's a possibility. See, every time I see Peter Sarsgaard, I think Green Lantern, and it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Leaves.
Do you see
Whenever I
Ryan
think-
Reynolds the same way?
No,
No.
because I think
'Cause he's
back to
Deadpool
two
now?
guys and a girl,
Gotcha.
and
Ooh.
it leaves a good taste in my mouth.
Okay.
But anyway, Magnificent Seven. We've specifically not talked about this until now, so let's review this film. First impressions.
Honestly, I really enjoyed this movie. I didn't watch the original Magnificent Seven, but I had watched Seven Samurai, and just throughout the whole movie, I was getting the sense that it still had that old school stoicism, but in a Western style. And I feel like it wasn't trying to be a Western; it was just set in that setting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Whereas,
makes
like, I feel like the last Magnificent Seven, even though I haven't seen it, I feel just like from glimpses that I've seen of it, though, I feel like it was trying too hard to be a Western. Does that make sense?
Does make sense.
Okay.
Yes, you're also talking about, though, it was a time period when Westerns were still really big.
Yeah.
Like that
So-
was the action movie almost.
The action movie, or what the quintessential superhero movie now,
Yeah.
we can say. So, yeah, I could see where that one, especially in hindsight, seems really in your face, because that would have been what they thought was going to drive people to the theater.
But yeah,
So-
there was just like there was a lot of shots that like echoed back to Seven Samurai. A lot of like just atmospheres of the shot, if that makes sense. Just like that definitely like echoed and called back to that Seven Samurai. Stoicism is the word that I keep coming back to. But,
Yeah. I like that they didn't use like the overexposed like camera like they always try to use like I thought the cinematography was like actually like really beautiful like seeing the
There's
mountains
lovely
and like
shots.
as opposed to like the old like the like two guys coming in the middle of the town
yeah.
tumbleweed coming through like I like that they didn't like go for that they actually just tried to like shoot like a modern western like that.
And that worked. And another thing I'll say is about the final fight scene. We'll get to spoilers in a little bit, but the final fight scene, the best coverage of a big, giant fight scene I've seen since Avengers.
Because they had good wide shots. Mm-hmm. Wide shots are something that's so underutilized nowadays. And I think it works really well in this one because you don't have a lot of like CGI. You don't have to pay to get a lot of things. You just have to get the right
Coverage, basically.
coverage and then also have the right extras and the right stunt choreography to get a good shot, which you need very talented people for that, which they definitely did. They definitely showed like wide outs of like the city crossings and 10 people on screen at one time, but each one's doing something really important.
Yeah.
And had the horses too.
And horses too.
are like,
Horse
really
work's always
expensive.
tricky.
Yeah.
The best thing, the thing that did it the most for me is that any good Western for me is it's about the feel. Like 310 to Yuma, I think, did this as well. Almost anything with Clint Eastwood in it back in the day and during like spaghetti westerns and all that jazz. What really does it for me is I want the feeling like at the same time, you're both feeling, oh man, it would have been so cool to live in the Wild West, but then also, oh my God, I do not want to live in the Wild West. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, it's a very cool, it's a very simple time. Like, it's very basic. Like, whiskey is a great joy in life. Like, it is in now too, but there's also the internet. But it's just a very simple, plain time, but also like, so it seems kind of like it'd be kind of fun. Like, it's all about your moral code and what you stand for, and it's everything's simple. But then also you're like, oh man, you just get shot in the street because somebody wants your stuff, and there's no one to do anything about it.
When people calmly say, "Oh, you shot my brother," like, I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah, I remember when I
about
shot
that
your
today.
brother. Play your cards.
Yeah.
We're playing-
Oh shit, my brother's dead now.
yeah.
That sucks.
It's just an interesting world, and I think when a movie captures that emotion for me, that's when I know that I'm digging it as a Western. And this movie did that.
Yeah.
Some of the character portrayals. One of the ones I think is funny is Ethan Hawke is not, his character of Goodnight is nothing like it was in the original.
Really?
He's not as haunted as he was. And reading, I think it's Antoine Fuqua. Is that how you say his name? The director?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not?
Don't encourage me because I'll just keep butchering it the entire time. But anyway, he said he had to keep picturing, so his acting, like his coaching to Ethan Hawke throughout the entire movie was, imagine he's Christopher Walken's character from The Deer Hunter. But instead of Vietnam, he's haunted by Civil War.
I think that's actually one of the biggest things that you're taught in directing 101 is when you're telling an actor to feel something, you don't say, be like this other actor in this other movie. Like, if I'm trying to elicit, all right, you're kind of crazy. You're like, all right, so this is the emotions you're feeling. Everything's blowing down on you. Things are coming from all sides, and you don't know how to handle it. You don't say, be Edward Norton in Fight Club. That's like a big no-no, I think, for actors.
Act sad. Haunted. Act emotions.
Right. Well, but give no. That's even better though. Like to give an emotion would be more than like.
Don't tell them to mimic another actor.
Yeah.
Tell
Oh,
them,
absolutely not.
Like
These
you
are
need to
your
use direction to.
Yeah, these are your experiences. Like, just come. Yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that. But
Tell
yeah.
a story, paint a picture. Don't say, hey.
Don't
Make it
trace,
your
don't
own.
trace somebody else's picture.
Yeah, make it your own
Yeah.
character. Do not copy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he wants you to rip him off, but like you don't know where another actor got their character from.
There usually are inspirations for other characters anyway, going on through things. But yeah, other performances. Anything?
I mean, let's just get it right off the bat. The best performance of the entire movie was Vincent
Vinny
D'Onofrio.
G. Vinny G.
Agreed.
It was good, but the very first scene.
I didn't smile more than anyone, or when anyone else was on the screen.
In the very first scene when he opens his mouth, it was so jarring
I'm just a guy.
to hear that voice.
Coming out of Vincent D'Onofrio.
He dug somewhere deep for that. Well, the first line was like, "These guys hit me in the head with a rock. They took my stuff. We ain't got a problem." No, I don't think so. Just threw a tomahawk at that guy. Which is also interesting that like the tracker, who's like really silent on his feet, is also the barbarian fat guy that is just like plowing over people. But then it's like, oh, he's real sneaky.
Tackling people off horses.
Yes,
Like jumping off
but
the ledge.
also tracking people for days without them knowing. It's just I'm picturing Vincent D'Onofrio sitting in a tree, and the tree trunk is just like bowing. Like I can't do this much longer. He's like,
Took him 4 hours to get up there.
stealthy.
Do you want to see?
I'm done with the impression because it's slowly turning into the perv from Family Guy. So, which was not far off.
Catch me, Cam.
Do you want to see a prequel of him just trying to be stealthy?
No, because apparently he was just a guy that was murdering Native Americans
Yeah.
for the entirety of his.
You're right. I completely forgot about that.
I also like that they gave a lot of these characters backstory and then didn't paint the whole picture.
Yeah.
I like that. It was,
There's not enough time.
well,
Like,
but it also there's something to you just like knowing. Oh man, something horrible happened to Ethan Hawke's character. I'm gonna let myself paint the picture. Like that's why you're scared of the dark, is because your own mind is scarier than anything else that could actually happen. Like it's not real. What they were sitting in the bar, and I guess we're getting kind of into spoilers, but he's like, I had a wife and children once. And then someone interrupts them, and they don't talk about it anymore. You're like, once? Did you kill them?
What happened?
What happened?
I don't know.
But I think that's interesting because it lead as a cowboy, you're supposed to be vague. You're not supposed to know everything about this person.
because most of the time, especially if you were a gunslinger or something, your paths are just crossing. So you get Hey, man, why are you an asshole? I had a wife once. All right. Don't know the extent of it, but all right. And keep
I
moving.
didn't think it was an asshole. I didn't think he sounded even sad. It was just like, yep, had a wife and kids once.
Yeah, then that's the thing.
I
You get
didn't.
to paint your own
No,
picture.
I was using
And
that
now
as a
they're gone,
generic
and
question.
Yeah.
Everyone got like a little pinch of a story. Oh, the Native American. Where's your tribe? They said I should do other things. Okay. What?
Chris Pratt just wanted his horse back.
He just wanted his horse
That's all he wanted.
I'm pretty sure. Is it safe to say that every single magnificent guy wanted to sleep with
Yes.
the girl that
absolutely.
recruited them? Every single guy was like,
No.
Besides
Ethan
for
Hawke
the-
didn't.
Billy.
Ethan and Denzel did not.
True, but
Actually,
everyone
I
else.
Only Chris Pratt.
Really?
Only Chris Pratt.
And maybe the Mexican?
The Mexican
Oh,
definitely
yeah, they both
wanted
were
to.
competing over
He
Okay,
had
Pratt-
her hog tied and was like, "What's up with her?" Pretty sure that was a line. No, okay, you're right. But okay, so then it wasn't that they all wanted to sleep with her, but it was any time Denzel went up to them and was like, "Hey, I got this thing you want to do." They would always look at her, and then it would cut to her, and she's just like, "I'm all sweaty."
Please don't rape me.
That was a little bit of that vibe for one of them.
Yeah, a couple of them actually.
But yeah.
I didn't get that vibe most of the time, but
It wasn't an overtly sexual thing, but it definitely was like anytime any of them happened, anytime a request was put in to join the squad, they had to look at her. And she was just like sitting there like, "Quit looking at me. Yes or no? I've got a sack of gold. Come on."
Like, I was also expecting if Chris Pratt didn't die. Are we doing spoilers? Do we have to like say like a spoiler?
It's Magnificent Seven.
Spoiler.
Everybody dies.
Okay. Yeah, everyone dies. Game of
Almost.
Thrones style. But like, if he didn't die, I thought they were gonna end up.
Of
Like,
course.
I thought that would have been like perfect. Like,
Has Chris Pratt ever not gotten a girl?
This time.
passengers maybe. I don't know. Maybe they both die.
That's gonna happen.
Kind
probably.
of Guardians. of the
yeah,
Galaxy?
Guardians, he doesn't have anyone.
But he could have.
No, he had a couple.
Yeah.
He had her. He had her on the ropes.
Well, I
didn't-
assume he
He
had
didn't get
women
the
in
girl,
this
but he had plenty
prior.
of girls. So he was doing all right for himself. I'm sure he's not a depressed guy.
That's fair.
He slept with a roommate.
That was Chris Pine in Star Trek.
But both green, aren't they? They're
I
like
think
they,
they both are
the
green.
girl who opens up Guardians looks
Same
very
race?
similar.
Ooh, yeah.
Might be looks very similar to the
E.T.
girl
was in
that
Star Wars.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
you don't know if ET was, but his race was.
E.T.
race
just
was.
means extraterrestrial. It's not his name.
It's his name.
His name's Humphrey.
No, his name is Edward Turan.
No, it's not.
I don't know. I said it convincingly though.
I'm gonna go with Humphrey.
But I mean, even still, just going back to what Sam was talking about, them like always going back to the girl, like that was a thing in Seven Samurai, because it was like I think the characters mirrored their Seven Samurai counterparts just like to a T, but they were also separate characters. If that makes sense, and I really enjoyed that.
I think that's one of the things that's most compelling about westerns too, is that while it is so simple and like it was a simpler time, that's what makes it all the more impressive to have a code. Because to have a code in the Wild West usually means it's going to bite you in the ass. So when all of them make that decision to like, yeah, I mean, I'll help out because it is the right thing to do, even though I haven't been doing the right thing my whole life, there still is a little semblance of humanity in me. And I might be digging a little too deep, but I think that's always a very compelling part about, I mean, I always go back to Clint Eastwood because he's a hero.
Yeah.
But it's always like, he's not a great guy in almost any of these movies. Like your cowboy hero
We're getting
is
more into a
never.
Western discussion, but yeah.
Oh yeah, we're still gonna have that. Shit, sorry. We're just diving right into it with what I'm talking about. Whoops. Never mind. We'll bring it back. Or should I just keep going?
Just keep going at this point.
Yeah, you're right. That's just what's most compelling about it, is that it's like the choice is more real. It's not like I'm being a good person because everybody's following me on Facebook or somebody's recording this or filming this or anything. It's like I'm making the choice to essentially go to my death because you know what? It's the right thing to do, and somebody that can't help themselves needs my help. Whereas you could have Chris Pratt could have just been like, nope, shot her in the head and taken the bag of gold and left. Could have happened, and you know what would have happened to him? Nothing. So
Ethan Hawke could have just stayed gone.
could have just rid off.
Yep.
Rode off.
Yep.
Ridded it off.
Yeah. If anyone believed for a second though, he wasn't coming back. He had to die.
I liked how he came back because I was expecting for him to show up in the top of the bell tower and be like, I've been here all night.
He's like, start shooting the Gatling gun.
See, that's the thing, though. That was the one thing I felt like this film did suffer from. It suffers still from the corny Western writing. That the only film I've seen able to get away from that was, oh, help me, it's the Val Kilmer, Kurt Russell, OK Corral shootout. I'm blanking hard. Just say it.
Tombstone.
Thank you.
The Tombstone is the cheesiest thing.
It's not as cheesy in the writing as some of the other Westerns. It's not cheesy in the writing at all. Some of the others. It has cheesy lines, but it's not A equals B equals C equals like straightforward lines.
I think that you're thinking that just because of the lines that Val Kilmer has. Because for the most part, everyone else is like, you wanted the thunder, I'm coming, and hell's coming with me. Like, it's not
That's fine. It's more along the lines of something I heard earlier in the movie. I can't remember. But it seemed like 1950s writing of being like, oh, Timmy's outside playing. Okay.
I think that might be a little on purpose.
I don't.
I mean, dialogue, it's a simpler time. Dialogue would be basic. Like, we're not going to get into
we assume
long.
Yeah, we don't know. We assume.
Well, no, I mean,
it could also be more eloquent and very elaborate.
Because you're going on safe assumptions. Because not everybody, like in that time,
you read some letters back then, man. They use words that we would never dream of using nowadays.
Well, sure, but also a lot of people couldn't read. A lot of people couldn't write. A lot of people didn't know a lot of those words. Which is why Chris Pratt was like, "What's a syllable?"
What is a syllable, by the way? Can we have this discussion?
No.
That's actually what the next part of our podcast is. What is a syllable? What is a noun? What is a pronoun? Can you use them in a sentence?
I would like to learn this, but maybe not right now. Maybe get my GED.
Okay.
Perfect.
So before we delve back into the Western conversations, go see it in theaters.
Oh, whoops.
Wait for DVD. Don't see it. Or matinee it. Wait for streaming. Go see it.
I say see it. I think it's worth it. I'm waiting it's worth even a non-matinee.
Enjoyed the movie.
I did see a review, which you hate to pull other reviews. I can't remember what it was, so I'm not going to plug it. But a good name for this movie is it's a summer blockbuster snuck its way into fall. If you want one more summer blockbuster, like a good summer, check your brain at the door, just kind of have a good time watching a movie with some stars in it, see this movie and then tap out till next summer. Because I don't think you're going to get anything else big like that. Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
So I think it's accurate.
I concur.
Wasn't the best movie in the world, but it was pretty good.
No, I enjoyed it.
Especially if you're jonesing for a Western.
I'd give it like a 7 out of 10.
Good.
But it helped. No?
No, it was 7 out of 10.
Oh, Magnificent 7. No, not really. I hated that last time. And they were magnificent. I hated that.
Cheesy writing, as I was saying.
That's beyond cheesy. That's just lazy.
I've been reviewing your file, and it seems as if you have an addiction to 3 Wise Radio.
But let's talk a little bit about Westerns here because, well, some would say Westerns is a dying thing. Like, it seems like every time a Western comes out, it doesn't make any money anymore. Some examples from the past 5 years: Lone Ranger, Cowboys and Aliens, Django Unchained, True Grit. Some were critically successful, but all were box office financial
Was
flops.
Was Django a flop? Really?
All were financially flops.
Django's a flop?
Yes.
Wow.
Like, it broke even at the box office, but as we've talked about on the show before, you have to gross twice your budget.
List those again.
Lone Ranger, Cowboys and Aliens, Django Unchained, True Grit.
I feel like
Besides True Grit, which I think I don't know. It feels like the majority of those have a gimmick. Like, it's cowboys, but there's aliens.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's Cowboys, but it's Johnny Depp with a funny hat. Is that your
No,
gimmick?
but it's like a kid's, like the Lone Ranger is like a kid's show.
I think the Lone Ranger was actually trying to capitalize on a superhero, quote unquote superhero
Well,
product that's not
that's
a franchise.
gimmick though. Like, give me a
You're saying we're not going to get the Survival 3, the sequel to Magnificent 7?
the Survival 3.
no, man.
No. Yeah.
I just feel like that those aren't. That you're not giving a Western a fair shake if your category is like, oh, it's a Western sci-fi, or oh, it's a superhero Western. Like, if you're gonna make a Western, make a Western.
Yeah.
Which is Magnificent Seven did, and hopefully it carries through and keeps making more
I
money.
thought True Grit did like a good job of sticking to like good Western like standards, like Jeff Bridges doing basically like John Wayne. Like
Impression.
Yeah.
I know we reviewed that movie a long time ago on a different show. Didn't we do True Grit? It was way back.
You guys didn't. You did it on a video because it came out in between semesters.
You're right. The
video might still be out on Facebook if anyone
back
wants
when
to
we
try
did it
and
in
find
college. I don't remember if I liked that movie, but looking back, like, not a huge fan. I think my favorite part about it was
Still never
Matt
seen
Damon
it.
because it was so strangely
Matt
cast.
Damon.
But yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I feels a little gimmicky to me.
Well, to me, you have westerns fall into 3 categories. You have the old westerns, which are westerns made pre-1980. You have the new westerns, which are post-1980, and then you have spaghetti westerns, a.k.a. the Clint Eastwood films, and you have the John Wayne films. I feel like any western, that's what I said.
You said 3.
You said 3.
Oh, sorry, I meant 4. I feel like any western you do is going to fall into one of those 4 categories. I mean, I pretty much pigeonholed them, but any western you're ever going to talk about is going to fall into one of those 4 categories.
Sure. Do you have a favorite?
I do. Mine is The Quick and the Dead from 1995. Because it's a western that doesn't feel like a western, and anytime you want to do a gunfight tournament, great. Great cast. Russell Crowe, oh my God, Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman, Leonardo DiCaprio, Commissioner Gordon from the original Batman series, and the only thing I've ever seen him in that's not a Batman film.
Okay.
It's a really good. Oh, it's got the guy who played Jigsaw in it. It's got like the black guy who does a lot of the army commercials, who I can only other think of from Requiem from a Dream. I think we've actually tried to figure out his name before, way a long time ago on the podcast. He's got a mustache and like a gap tooth. It's got a great cast, and it's a great film.
Can you remember the last Western to win an Academy Award?
True Grit.
Django.
Did it win an Academy Award?
I think it won. Yeah, Jeff Bridges won for it.
Did he win for that?
Or he either won for that or the country singer won. He won for one of those 2.
Didn't Django win?
Well, can you remember what
I don't think Django.
Western won Best Picture?
No.
1992?
Oh, Unforgiven?
Unforgiven.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Which, Clint Eastwood.
Of course.
The dude just oozes
Western.
American sexuality.
Careful.
Get off
You have to say Clint Eastwood, because if you describe him as the dude, and we just got done saying Jeff Bridges, there might be some.
yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
There you go.
He.
Oh, Hateful Eight. That was another one that didn't really make a lot of money. That was a Western.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like Tarantino, I think there's an equal number of people that won't go see a Tarantino movie than people that will.
That's fair. Yeah.
At this point,
That's true.
Yeah.
Million Ways to Die in the West. Western that failed.
that was a comedy.
But it was a Western.
Yeah, but it's
Because
like, again,
the-
I think it feels like a gimmick.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. But like, you want something that's just a true Western,
Isn't that like
is what
Seth
you're saying.
MacFarlane? That one? Like, yeah, the Family Guy dude?
Yeah.
Did that one? Yeah. I mean, I laughed a little bit, but during it.
All right, I'm going to try and go through this list and try and find the last true
Yeah, that's
Western
a comedy, though. That's not a Western.
that I know of.
I mean, I guess
Jonah Hex
True
technically
Grit
is a Western.
is a true Western.
That is-
It is a
yeah.
true Western.
I thought Django was.
But
Django's
Django's not that
a
Tarantino.
Western, but Quentin Tarantino is one of the few directors nowadays that like you have to put an asterisk besides a movie and say, oh, it's a Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
I can't think of
True.
another director besides like Woody Allen.
Christopher Nolan.
But with a Woody Allen movie, you also know that that's Woody Allen based on.
I
like,
think
a minute
Nolan's
of
coming
dialogue.
up on that.
Nolan, Snyder might be getting there.
Yeah. Oh, especially
I
Snyder.
don't think Nolan needs an asterisk.
As far as people not wanting to go see his movies,
Yeah.
I mean, they're long, man. They're long, and you've got to be into the topic. Because I'll admit, I like Memento, I like The Prestige, but like Insomnia, Interstellar, these are Nolan films that are like, I don't know if I can sit through them a second time on each one of them.
Okay. That's
I spent.
Because they're just so long
Watched
and
Interstellar at
boring.
least like 5 times.
They're all auteurs, which is a fun name for fancy director.
Here's an interesting question. It's on the list. Would you describe The Last Samurai as a Western?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, according
It's on the Samurai Western is a subgenre. I'm seeing from my Google
I mean,
list
like
in front of me.
according just according to the 4 genres of westerns that you put out,
Mm-hmm.
I would classify it as a western.
Yeah. I also would classify it.
Just because because like that's like
just-
Samurai.
And I
were
really like that
essentially-
movie too.
Samurai
do
were
too.
There's a few Tom
essentially-
Cruise movies I really like.
Very few.
Oh, you said The Last Samurai.
The Last
Yes.
Samurai.
What did you think?
What
I
did
thought
you
you
think?
said Seven Samurai.
No.
Oh, no.
It's
Last Samurai.
it's a western in terms of it being about what?
I laugh because Brokeback Mountain was on the list.
I guess it's a
That's a true Western.
No, that's not a western, is it?
That's a true Western.
It's about cowboys in the mountains who are cattle herding.
Yeah, I guess.
Name more of a Western thing.
The Alamo.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's also on the list.
I think
Alamo's on there.
Last Samurai, in terms of like it being about like a moral code and
And
like
it's
that
set in
kind of avenue.
Set in the same like kind of time period too.
a
though.
little bit later, yeah.
No, it's like Civil War like just happened in like America, so like they're sending generals over to like
Yeah.
Japan to like.
I guess it works as a kind of like an out of time or not of like space.
Also on the list as a contemporary Western, No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
If you would take that storyline and put it in
Yes.
1878, I think it qualifies.
Yeah, a modern day western. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because
would
I feel
give
like
it
it's
to
like the noir thing. Like everything doesn't have to be in the 30s for it to be a western.
to be a noir.
Yeah, just like everything doesn't
You're
have
right.
to be in the.
I would give that
western.
one for sure. It's a good movie. Top performance as
See
well.
what else
yeah.
we have on this list that I thought was interesting. Because Westworld's coming to HBO, and not just because it has cowboys and science fiction. What about Serenity? The space western is apparently a subgenre as well that people are into.
I mean, I think that was the big allure behind Serenity and Firefly, is that it had that feel of a western, but it was still. It was a Joss Whedon western in space.
I wish I liked it more than I do. Honestly,
is that going to affect your answer on whether or not it is a western?
No, I mean it's definitely a space western. That's what everybody. Anytime you see anybody that likes that show, it's it's a space western. Like that's the crowning jewel of what that show is. Is the best attribute of that show is what it is, which is weird.
I mean, I've said it before. It's the Adventures of Han Solo is basically what that show is in a nutshell.
Correct. With Nathan Fillion, who is a nerd,
who would have been a
hero.
great, actually in his younger days, would have been a great replacement for Han Solo.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see the guy we have now.
Ooh, my favorite western of all time, probably. Sorry, I take that back with the quick and because I didn't even think about this until I just saw it on the list. Back to the Future Part 3.
Yeah. It is a western.
There is a gunfight. There is
There's a gun.
Marty McFly comes
Saying
out
there's
with
a gunfight does not quantify it as a western.
It's a short gunfight. It's a
True.
He wears a vest of what is it, like an oven?
Yeah, but no, that's from a Clint Eastwood
metal
movie.
thing.
yeah.
That is
Taken straight from a Clint Eastwood movie.
he took because he calls himself Clint Eastwood in the
And
future.
why wouldn't you?
I mean, yeah,
Let's just get this out on the table right now. Best cowboy of all time.
Wait,
John Wayne.
fictional character or like actual
No,
person?
fictional. Like best actor to play a cowboy. Of
And
all
then
time.
second clarification: does John Wayne count as a fictional character?
No, John Wayne is just a cowboy.
I still say Clint.
Okay, let's actually do the fictional character then. Are you guys counting Clint Eastwood and John Wayne?
I would say Clint's character from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Blondie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have a name.
Just because honestly, anytime that I think cowboy, it either goes to John Wayne and his various characters, or Clint from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
I give it to Clint, but also it's indoctrination from my father. We didn't watch John Wayne movies. We watched.
See,
Clint
my
Eastwood
father and I
movies.
watched John Wayne movies. That was
Damn it.
Yeah.
We don't get to have debates on this, but when we all agree that it is just a religion
Yeah,
that we're indoctrinated in by our fathers.
John Wayne.
So John Wayne, Clint Eastwood.
When I think
Clint
cowboy, I
Eastwood.
think John Wayne. Then I think Clint Eastwood.
Okay, John Wayne gets respect, but if you're talking in terms of who's a more badass, Clint Eastwood is way more badass than John Wayne. Way more badass.
But you're also talking about
also
a product
John
of when
Wayne
these
is
movies
also-
came out.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
You're not going to show John Wayne doing some of the stuff Clint Eastwood did because John Wayne movies came out between 1930s and 1950s and buttered bread America where you can't even show a man and a wife sleeping in the same bed. So of course Clint Eastwood's going to be a little bit more dirtier, a little bit more grittier, and a little bit more badass because
grittier?
because which is a John Wayne character, but
A good one.
and the only one he won an Academy Award for, and the only time he ever actually did a sequel.
It's a weird name for a person.
Yes,
True Grit.
I think it's Chisholm. I think his name is
His
Chisholm.
name's True. Mr. Grit.
Grit.
I also believe that John.
No,
Wayne
it's Rooster
is an
Cockburn.
actor.
That's what that is.
It is
Goddamn.
Rooster Cockburn. Much better name.
I also believe that John Wayne is just actually who he is, his fictional characters.
And-
They're just not like
That might be true.
they're not like, hey, you're
But
acting
I-
right now. He's just like, all right, John Wayne, this be you.
But I would
What
also
would you do in this
argue
situation?
that Clint Eastwood is probably worse than the characters he plays.
Hang on. Here's a great question for the two of them. We covered this in our Hollywood remakes episode with John Wayne in the same movie that he redid like 5 times.
Oh, for himself?
But who redoes his own movies more, Clint Eastwood or John Wayne? Because I'm pretty sure Clint Eastwood fell into that category too of remaking his own films.
Well, and it's a spaghetti western was like $20 to make.
It goes back to my theory of why would you make it again? Just put it out.
The price of a
Take
dollar.
the $20.
I'll give you John Wayne is better at saying pilgrim.
I'll take it.
Thanks.
You can agree that Clint Eastwood is more badass.
No.
Does John Wayne, and obviously this isn't something that we're all aspiring to, but does John Wayne slap women in his movies?
Yes.
'Cause I know Clint does.
Yeah, he does.
A lot.
He does. Especially, like, once again, this was the 1950s.
Yes, I know.
Where,
It's different
where you could
times.
smack a woman and be like, calm down. Because, that's
Hey,
the
they do
one
that in
thing.
Airplane.
That's a 70s, so if you can give me some within the last 20 years.
And it's a hero, not a villain?
Yes.
I feel like Daniel Craig's probably slapped someone.
He's not wrong.
Has Bond never slapped anyone?
I think he did in Spectre.
You know what? I would have been just as convinced in that scene where she's in the shower and she's like, there's blood on my fingers. If he had just slapped her, I would have also been like, that seems like something Daniel Craig Bond would do.
Three Wise Radio does not promote violence against women.
No, I don't. No, I definitely don't. But I can totally see Daniel Craig James Bond giving a little slap to him and be like, hey, gotta knock this crazy out of you real quick. Bud, tell me I'm wrong.
I don't think you're wrong, actually.
Instead of, what was the other option? Oh, suckling on her fingers. Calms her right down.
Also
Which one is more sexist? Answer me that, Joe.
I don't know.
All right, I need you to slap Ava Green, knock some sense into her. What if instead I sucked on her fingers a little bit? All right. Roll tape, I guess.
Improv it. Just do it.
Anyone who clicks on this cast being like, oh, they're talking about Westerns could be sorely disappointed.
He smacked it with a fistful of dollars.
And we're right back. What a great trilogy, though.
Oh, the Dollars trilogy.
Has there been any other Western trilogies? We're not even. We have no point to this at this point.
No, now
Have
we're
there
just
been
rambling.
any other trilogies or?
I don't think so, no.
I can't think of any. It's weird. It seems like one cowboy can carry a trilogy and one can't.
One cowboy can remake his same film 4 times, though.
Pilgrim. John Wayne's dead, right?
Yes.
He died in the 70s.
Just checking.
Found with actually 20 pounds of undigested red meat in his stomach.
That I also believe.
It's called a true man.
Called a gut.
It's called a real cowboy. Clint Eastwood, what does he weigh? Like 140 pounds? He's probably.
Hey, is it better to die
probably
because
has
you've
like
got
a-
so much? I'm pretty sure Clint Eastwood is still alive, purely on seething rage. Have you seen him in an award show? He's so mad at everyone else that's there because he thinks they're all pussies.
Agreed.
Look at that man.
Always so
He's just so just like
Get off my lawn.
yes.
Sorry, Mr. Eastwood.
But the
you were
lawn
at
is
the
his
Oscars.
world. The lawn is
The
everything.
world
He's
is
like,
his lawn, and he wants
you're
everyone
all
to get off
weak. You read that interview with him and Scott Eastwood, right?
Yeah.
He was like, my dad wasn't a nice man.
And no one believed him to be.
What? Anything else about Westerns? Did we cover anything?
I think we just named some titles and talked about John Wayne and Clint Eastwood. Beating women.
covered it.
What was the goal here, guys?
Man, I don't know.
You should see Magnificent Seven.
Chris Pratt looked really good. Didn't
dude,
take his shirt off, though.
You could lock that dude in a porta potty for a month and he'd still look good.
Yeah.
Right?
I would hope you locked in there with him.
All right, team, gather round. We're 10 points down, 10 seconds out. We need everyone to huddle in. We're going to run 3 Wives Radio.
As usual, we like to end every episode with what's piquing our interest, or we just say what's piquing our interest. If you listen to every episode, you know where I'm going. Garrett, what's piquing your interest?
Sure things, Joe.
You've done that a lot too lately, I've noticed.
It's my only way to keep him from saying 2 things.
Oh. You can have 5 now if you want.
No, I only want one today. My one is Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, you took a
like
like
it?
I really enjoyed it. They're definitely going for a lot more violent of a theme with this. Like, the opening scene is you don't see him actually doing it, but Ghost Rider like drags this dude off screen, fucking crushes his head, and you see the blood just like splatter up against a van like on some other dude's face that's still alive, and he's just like, "Ha!"
Is that because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is getting grittier
I-
and sexier?
True grittier.
Also, right before this scene, you see Daisy getting dressed, and like it's a completely like unnecessary,
Gratuitous scene.
gratuitous like you could have shown her just like getting suited up, but like they started from square one pretty much. It's like, here's her in her lingerie, here's her putting on pants, here's her putting on a jacket, here's her zipping up that jacket really sexy in front of her cleavage. It's like,
no one
okay.
wears a deep tank top better or less appropriately for a special ops agent.
But no, I mean, like this season, I'm impressed by the premiere. I don't going back to the Ghost Rider. I'd be okay if they just killed off or got rid of Daisy and just made this new Ghost Rider their main character.
Will you keep watching, or will you wait until, like, is it hooked you enough to where you'll keep watching, or will you still wait until Netflix, like next summer?
Honestly, since I started watching it, I'm
You're into it?
Oh yeah, I'm into it to a point where like I will watch it week to week. So
Okay.
Right on.
Cool.
Sam, what's piquing your interest?
Piquing my interest is from the gaming world, kind of a staple. We all know Blizzard Entertainment, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, all that jazz. Overwatch, if you're new to the game. Something that they've had since their inception. Their online gaming platform has always been called Battle.net, so battle.net.
yeah,
Which you don't think about it until it's gone. And they're changing it. They're going to Blizzard Tech, so it's a little more unified. It doesn't change anything. Nothing's different.
it's just a new name.
It's just a new name, but Battle.net has been something that's been a staple of theirs for so long. Like I remember when I was 12 and I would go over to my friend's house, Brian of Good Bad.
Hey, we got it finally.
I hope. And we would get on Battle.net and play Warcraft 2 and things like that. So it's just weird that that's gone, even though it's not really gone. It'd be like if they changed the name of almost like Super Mario and they changed it to something else.
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
It's just bizarre to have that go away.
Yeah,
So, R.I.P. Battle.net.
weird, yeah.
Hello, Blizzard Tech.
this doesn't even have the same ring to it.
Yeah, there's something cool about Battle.net. Like early 90s cool, which is why they're probably changing it. Anyway.
Nick, what's piquing your interest this week?
What's piquing my interest, Joe, is girl on girl porn. So like back in high school, I used to not like find too much interest in it. I like to like see I like to see.
Not gonna lie, I had to cut a lot of that. Like,
Fair
we're
enough.
explicit,
Fair enough.
but you took it to a whole new level.
It's just like like I used to get really into like those POV videos where like it's like one guy like filming down because you can imagine it's yourself because you never
It's a
really want to
point
like
of view.
see like another. Imagine that's your own, and like that's cool to me.
Good to know.
Okay.
I mean, I could talk about this with you for an hour, but I feel like it's not the best format.
Okay, so should I say something
Three
else?
wise guys after hours.
After hours.
I mean,
No, you're fine.
With
But if
hosts
I wanted to go into
Nick
more
Budd.
detail with you, we'd need to do it on a different platform.
I also like when people pee in buttholes. I think that like just
Okay.
and I'm been cut off. After Hours, 3 Guys Radio with Nick Budd.
Possibly a new show coming your way. Must be 18 or
October
older.
2016.
What's piquing my interest this week is because I said I wanted to do this. Is Sam, you're the only person at this table who has yet to post the current Facebook, like going around Facebook, Instagram, social media post of describe yourself in 3 fictional characters.
What is that?
You haven't seen this yet?
I really don't go on that much. Oh, yeah, okay. It's where everybody's posting, and it's like, oh, I'm like Aladdin because I like this guy. It doesn't actually, from what I've seen, it has nothing to do with how people actually behave. Like, Garrett, I'm going to guess you had Spider-Man. Weird. So it really has nothing to do with who they are. It's just like, oh, I'm cool like that guy because I like that guy.
I told you this would be his answer.
Why are you like Pippin?
Hobbitsy.
Why?
short?
Why?
Short, like food, like drinking, like resting.
So you sound like every man under 5'10".
Thank you.
Yes.
And then the guy from Adventure
Insecure.
Time. I don't know enough about the guy from Adventure Time to say if that's like you.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, you're just like Spider-Man. You are exactly like Spider-Man.
You're like
See, I
Peter
told
Parker.
you he would say
I
this.
know.
Like you're like Peter Parker before he became Spider-Man. Like just a
Nerd.
nerd that people made fun of. I'm sorry, that got dark. I love you.
So what's the point of this?
I want you to do it.
I don't want to do it.
I knew that too.
Who am I most like?
Dr.
Not,
Evil.
not people from media because they're interesting.
I mean, that's part of the fun. But that's part of the fun of this.
I think I'm like Clint Eastwood and Batman and Jason the Red Power Ranger because they're all super dope.
I mean, you said 2 of those 3 are fictional.
Do they have to be real?
Yeah,
No, they have to
They
be
have to be
fictional.
fictional characters.
Clint Eastwood is a real man, as we covered earlier.
But like my idea of Clint Eastwood, it's like all the coolness with a little less racism.
This was basically exactly how I told you this would play out.
I don't want to do this.
If you don't want to do this, Please stay tuned because there's many
Jafar.
other ways.
I'm Jafar.
You're not wrong. You're
I
bringing the
agree
party
with
down
Jafar.
a bit.
Now he's thinking.
Dobby from Harry Potter, and also
Yeah.
help me out if you guys have any introductions.
If
Skeeter
you
from
Skeeter.
No, not Skeeter. Roger Klotz
Roger, Skeeter, and Dobby.
and Dobby.
We have our
Yep.
3 fakes. You're just like an elvish.
If you want to wrap this podcast up,
I was gonna say, if you think you can narrow Sam down to 3 fictional characters, tell us, and there's many different ways you can do so.
Please
you
comment.
can email us at 3wiseradio@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at 3wise Media, on Instagram at 3wise Radio, or on Twitter. We're still on Twitter, I believe, at 3wise Radio / hashtag 3wise Radio. We're still on Twitter, just no one goes on Twitter anymore, except the
Twitter's
bots.
old media at this point. It's all about the gram.
So retro.
Do we have a gram?
Yes.
We have a gram.
A what?
Do we have a Snapchat?
We have a
don't.
MySpace.
We don't have a Snapchat.
Don't
Everyone's
do
on
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Don't do Snapchat. Instagram has just implemented something that's going to take away from Snapchat. Snapchat will not be a thing in the next 5 years.
We have a
Snapchat
MySpace.
just came out with their.
Is there a
making
MySpace? I will
glasses.
make a MySpace for us.
Is MySpace still around?
I will make a MySpace.
I think
Wow.
I'm still with my high school girlfriend on MySpace, and we're
nice.
very happy.
I never had a MySpace.
Spoiler alert: I don't think we are.
Well, I'm happy for you.
This is a long distance relationship. It's killer.
I want to look this up now.
Pretty sure my MySpace still has me driving a bike into a pile of snow and falling face first. into
Wait,
that
is
pile of snow.
MySpace still a thing?
Yeah.
But now it's more music related. I'm surprised, honestly, that if it's still up, like if you can still pull yours up, I feel like they'd shut them down by now, just to make like server space. But I think it'd be interesting if they were still up. That would be a thing on Facebook. That's like, take a picture of your MySpace front page and post it on Facebook, so that everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is what I was like when I was 15, crazy."
I mean, you can
Well, not
just
too long
scroll
ago they
down
posted
Facebook.
Tom Hardy's MySpace.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah,
like,
I've
he was
seen
like in
that.
underwear and was like just.
That's about
being
right.
Real weird.
still up?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, happy for you and your relationship.
Thanks,
I hope
man.
it's still going good.
It's
After
a little,
8 years.
it's a little rocky right now. It's the distance.
So the distance.
More
We just
on
don't
this.
communicate.
More on this next week.
3 Wise Radio is a production of 3 Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.